What is the freelance economy? Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of The Future in 5. My name is Jacob Morgan. This is where I share my thoughts, ideas, and commentary on the future of work in 5 minutes or less. Today I'm in Berlin. I'm sitting at a park bench here. As you can see, people walking by all over the place, and I'm just awkwardly sitting, talking to the camera. So I'm in Berlin for a few days where I'm speaking at a conference for Amadeus, the travel company. And I'm speaking on the future of work. Just finished my session earlier today. Thought I would come outside, go for a walk and do a video. And today I wanted to talk about what the freelancer economy actually is. We've been hearing about it. What is it? Really quick before I get into that, I just want to give a big thanks to the folks over at Work Market for making this video possible. As you know, I've been talking about freelancers quite a bit the past few weeks, and that's because the freelancer economy is really growing. It's one of the biggest trends that I see happening over the next 5 to 10 years or so. Work Market is a freelance management system vendor. They help organizations and freelancers find each other, and as organizations start to tap into that on-demand workforce more and more, they got to think differently about how they innovate, how they compete, and what they're going to be doing around the future of work. So check out workmarket.com. They have some really cool content on there, some great videos and vignettes where they actually interview freelancers. So give it a shot. I will really appreciate it, as would they. And a big thanks to the folks over at Work Market again for making these videos possible. So, back to the original question, what is the freelancer economy? As leaves come bombarding me in the head. We've been hearing quite a lot about freelancers. And so, freelancer economy, what is it about? Unfortunately, we're at a point now where trying to define the freelancer economy is a little bit like trying to define art. It's sort of like I'll know it when I see it. And the reason for that is because well, a couple things. Number one, we have a lot of different ways that we refer to freelancers. We call them contingent workers, we call them freelancers, we call them 1099 workers, we call them on-demand workers. So there are a lot of different words and terminologies that we're using to describe essentially the same thing. So that's issue number one. The second challenge is that depending on which research report you look at, people define freelancers in different ways. These might be people that work full-time jobs, and maybe once a year they go out and do some kind of freelance work. It could be people that do freelance work full-time. So we have all sorts of different definitions, all sorts of ways of explaining what a freelancer is and what the freelancer economy is about. So I'm going to do my best to try to explain that here. Basically, what we're talking about is people that are doing non-traditional types of work, meaning they do not just have a full-time job working for one person. They are doing work outside of what would be considered traditional employment. So this means that maybe they have a full-time job and they drive for Uber a couple hours a week. This might mean that they are full-time freelancers where they drive for Uber or they work for whoever every week. So there are a couple of different ways that we could be looking at this, but at the end of the day, what we're looking at and what we're talking about is people that are getting paid to do work that are not full-time employees. So in other words, you're working for a company, but you're not a full-time employee. And we've all done that, the majority of us. We've all taken on side projects. A lot of us have done freelance work. We've driven for Uber. We've done all sorts of things. Speaking engagements, if you've ever done a speaking engagement, that could technically be classified as doing freelance work because you're a contractor there. Anything of that nature. So as you can see, the freelancer economy is quite a big space. It touches everybody from myself, somebody that does speaking, to people that do work on houses, to people that drive cars, to people that do technical work. So it's all over the place. And the big challenge, like I said today, is that we have a lot of challenges defining what the freelancer or who the freelancer actually is and what that overall space looks like. So basically, the freelancer economy is this idea of people being able to make a living by working non-traditional means. In other words, no longer having to rely on a single employer to make a living. You can rely on multiple employers, you can be a contractor for one, but it is anything that is outside the traditional model of employment, I would say, is a very simple and easy way to think about what the freelancer economy is. And it's something that we're starting to see more and more of, and we will continue to see more of that in the future. So hopefully that gives you some context and some clarity around what the freelancer economy is, what freelancers are, what this is all about. Again, it's about people being able to make a living through non-traditional means, not having to rely on a single full-time employer as a way to make a living. Curious to hear what you think. Leave me a comment below. Heading back to Berlin tomorrow morning, so in a couple hours here. But in the meantime, like I said, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And in the meantime, if you want to get access to more episodes of these videos, of the podcasts, of the newsletter, articles, etc., visit thefutureorganization.com. And if you want to team up on doing a series of videos for your company, then you can always send me an email at jacob@thefutureorganization.com. And of course, you can find me on Twitter at JacobM. I'll see you next time on an episode of The Future in 5. Goodbye from Berlin. See you next time. Wait, just kidding. Have a couple other things that I wanted to mention that I forgot to record, and I just wanted to throw some numbers your way around how big the freelancer economy is. MBO Partners did a study, and they found that over the past 5 years, the freelance economy space has been growing by 12%, and this is over 5 years. Traditional employment, I believe they found, was growing by 7%. So we can see there's a 5% difference between those two numbers. What else? Intuit did a report, and they found out that by 2020, they're expecting 40% of Americans to be freelancers. That is a huge number. Again, doesn't mean that they're going to be doing this full time, but it's people that will be doing some kind of freelance work. And the Freelancers Union did a report, and they found that 34% of Americans are already doing freelance work, and that came to 50 something plus million Americans. Now again, the challenge with some of those reports, I believe Freelancers Union defined somebody that was a freelancer as somebody that did some kind of freelance work over the past 12 months. Again, very broad, because, you know, I could eat sushi in the past 12 months, but it doesn't mean that I would consider myself a sushi fanatic or a sushi connoisseur or a sushi eater. Just because I had it once over the past 12 months, I wouldn't tell people that I, again, eat sushi. But that just goes to show the issues that we have in this space, trying to define how big this market actually is. Different companies have different metrics for what they want to look at, for how they're looking at it, and how they're defining this space. Either way, it is growing, it is big. Over the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see massive disruption in the employment space. So make sure to keep an eye out on what is going to happen. Okay, now I'm officially done. I'll see you next time. Hey, are you interested in the future of work? If so, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get all the latest content on the future of work and stay up to date on all the latest trends and happenings. Not to mention, you will make me very, very happy. Make sure to subscribe.